Greetings, my beloved friends and my family. I want to take a little bit of your time today to quickly um share with you some thoughts about the next few days. Um, um, I'm doing some errands as always, and I just had this moment that is just was communicated just a few minutes ago, and I wanted to share this with you. First of all, thank you again. I ask the Lord to continue blessing you as always. May the Lord keep you safe. And court be vigilant. The next few days and the few weeks in here, pretty soon, as I mentioned in my previous video, will be very, very important. I want you to also to be cognizant, in other words, be aware of it, that major changes are taking place right now. And, excuse me, and it may not seem a bit like that. There's a tranquility, but it's a tranquility that is very deceiving because there's much going on, not only in the human consciousness and the disclosures that I have been talking about it, but as we're during this period of transition, I want you all to be aware of it, that the transition has a double-edged sword, okay? In other words, in one aspect, it deals with nature, of course, and then the other aspect is deal with the human nature. It is a human nature that is taking really the pounding right now, if I use the word freely. It is the one that is allowing us to look at ourselves deeply inside. And the biggest thing that we are going to be facing here very, very soon is the discovery of the word and a concept that I want you to keep in mind called resentment. Oh, yeah, humanity is going to bad experience the principle. I'm going to use the word the principle, or the feelings, the deep feeling emotion that we get as the call of resentment. Surely resentment is something that is well hidden in our spirit and our minds and our hearts for whatever situation they have created. And of course, most of you have them. We all do. We all have resentment. Some of us have some they're very light. I'm going to say very, they don't mean moonlight. And some of those that carry very deep resentments. So that is the aspect of this transition for the next couple of weeks. I already mentioned that October will be very, very important, the few days, starting especially the 1st of October, which is coming around in this weekend. September has passed, and I say this would be the month to remember. Well, October is the month that we need to reckon with. So that is where resentment is going to come to the surface in various aspects for some of you, for most of us really, even including the servant of yours, Ruben Garcia, is going to go through some of them. I've already been working with them. I've already been being very involved with it, my own ones, okay? And it's not difficult. It's just that it's like a magnet. You got to be easy to how do you pull it out of it. But so what I'm trying to say is that we have become so attached to it that many times we forget how valuable our peace of harmony of our heart. It's most important to the moment. We should do everything we can to not to ever find ourselves in that pit, I call it, or resentment. So that is the first aspect. So let's call this the first episode on this aspect of transition. It is recognizing what resentment is and how it affects us. And whether we realize it or not, it affected us tremendously. Just about everything we do daily. Okay? Because resentment is something that doesn't go. It's not a fever that goes away with some medication. No. It stays with us for a while. And if we don't take care of it, what would happen is that we put them in a storage. That's what I call it. Resentment goes into a storage cabinet, and unfortunately, it's still sitting in there. Many of us don't really deal with it, and that's what is happening right now. This is the pure resentment, especially the next few days until the 4th of October. You will find it out that it'll become more often. And as disclosure will come to humanity in this aspect, you'll find out that it's going to trigger some old resentments added to some new ones. And when that happens, I want you to, this is my advice, remain calm. Search how is that the old resentment is affecting you or has affected you in the past. Okay? And then prepare yourself to deal with it you cannot put it back in that cabinet. Trust me. Once it's out of the file, is it open? It's an open case. You have to deal with it. How you deal with it depends on it. I will tell you later on after I completed it how you can overcome it. But the main thing is you have to face the reality of your resentment. You got to find out the dealing principles that make you have a resentment, whatever it be, and finally realize that this is not what really what I, because you're going to find that out by the end of December. No lie. Listen, the end of December, just before the holidays, humanity is going to find out and say themselves, this would be the norm back then. How in the world did I ever went through this? This is crazy. This is naughty. You, whatever word you want to use, you're going to find yourself going like, I don't believe I was doing that. And that is the part of this realization of the consciousness, is that you're going to realize all of a sudden, why in the world was I thinking of it? It didn't make sense then. I should recognize that. But see, our mental state was different. So resentment is going to allow you to do that. Okay, it's a principle. So plan on the next 21 days. 21 is coming around. Do you hear a lot about 21 days, 21 days? Trust me. The reason 21 is there is because you know the 7 days. Okay, that part of the Bible that says, there are a period of time you can get preoccupied for a principle of whatever it is, the deceitfulness, sadness, sorrow, whatever it is. It should not last no longer than 21 days. Most of us linger quite often more than that. But anyway, the point of it here is resentment is going to have a tremendous input in your life in the days to come. Be prepared in dealing with it. You cannot, I say it again, and I restated it very strongly again, you're not going to be able to put it away. You have to deal with it because it will compound on you, not only with the disclosure that will come around in this nation, but also throughout the world. And you have to be aware of it, that you do not need any more of that. Okay? So that's the point of it, of this little video, is that to let you be aware of it, that resentment, it is a principle that is coming. And yes, there are already magnificent changes going on in nature. And of course, what you all know is the rapture and the ascension. Okay, for example, let me give you an example. I live in an area that I was so used to hearing the birds every morning. Every morning they would be singing, giving thanks to God for the day. And I see all kinds. I saw the hummingbird, I saw the little yellow birds, the blue ones. I saw doves, wild doves, all over the place. And in the last 5-6 days, I haven't seen that many. Even the mockingbirds that I used to see quite often around my area, there was only one. And all we got to see were either the crows or we saw buzzards, which kind of like, wait a minute, what is going on? I mean, these are the ones left behind or something. But the point I'm trying to say that even there's already certain motions, so I want to say, or certain declarations that things are living. They're departing. More on this later on in other video, this chapter, because I want you to first transition to something that is going to affect you. That's my point right now, okay? So I ask you to please keep in mind this. As the resentment and all these other things begin to come up to the surface of your conscience right now, no longer can be hidden. You got to start dealing with differently. And to do that is take your time, reflect on those resentment, and the key to number 2 to that is, what value did it have? Why did you put such value on that resentment, but yet you did not deal with it or dealt with it, and you decided to put it in the back of your mind, or shall we say, in the archives or in the cabinet? Because they are coming to be brought up to it. Whether you like it or not, you will have no control over it. It's part of this new consciousness, this ascension, this transition to deal with all of this. Which brings me back to my third part of it. Okay? First you have the encounter that it comes up. Then you have, of course, like I just mentioned, you have to become real about it. And number 3 is, how do I separate them from my personal feelings about myself and about others, those that affect me. That's number 3. How do I go about it? It's going to be depending on how you look at people, how your heart, how you love, how you appreciate, how you deal with people, how do you treat them. The Bible says that we're all equal. The Bible, even Jesus reminds us that we're supposed even to love and forgive our own enemy. Hey, wouldn't that be any time to start using that precedence, that principle that he taught 2,000 years ago? And began simply by saying to himself, do I have an enemy? No, I don't have an enemy. That's the bottom line. And the next element, after you recognize it and realize that it's no longer needed to archive it, but to dissolve it, to make it go away, to let it go, is to learn to forgive. That is the key. Forgive yourself first if you want to. It make you feel good, believe me. You say, well, I forgive myself for holding to something that I should, such grievance. Why would I was holding to this grievance? Or why was I holding to this sorrow? Okay? Why am I so involved with some mundane things that are putting me down instead of bringing me up? And you'll be surprised that you'll find out these are all things that are in our mind. Wait a minute. It is I who did this. They're not. Oh my goodness. Wait, that's where you will say by the end of December, how in the world did I ever got into this situation back then? Why didn't I just see the light? Oh yeah, you will. And some of you may even go deeper than that, believe me. And you will remember, you'll say, I remember Mr. Garcia in his video there, sitting in the car, sharing his ideas with us. And he did mention that I will feel this way. And I hope to hear from you in a complimentary way by that time. Anyway, so forgiveness is the key now. You forgive yourself. And then say to the other person, I forgive that person. If you have him around, just tell him. Very simple. I have come to the realization that all the resentments and everything that I have for you, it was ridiculous. Just whatever word you want. It didn't make sense to me now. And somehow, thanks to the grace of God, I want to tell you that I forgive you because I have forgiven myself and because I love God. And God have taken time to open my eyes. He took the scales out of my eyes. He told me to go wash myself in the pool, and I did wash myself. And then all of a sudden I saw the truth. And the truth is that God is great. And love is far greater than resentment. That's the key. So there you have it. Transition brings it about the concept of resentment. Quit agonizing yourself in all this aspect of what is it that you got to hold of this. You got to let them all go. Oh, my beloved friend, you got to let them go. If you don't, it's gonna get tougher. Because this is the time of realization. There is no other way and there's no other time. This is it, folks, remember? And so therefore, the quicker you start acting on it, the quicker you start letting go all this stuff, the quicker you start grasping the power of God, the Spirit is in you, oh my goodness, everything is going to change. And you'll be so surprised all the great things that will happen to you. You have no idea how beautiful it is, okay? But I know that in time, even if you were not desiring to do none of this or to let anything go, human nature is that they will be forced to do it. You may see the outside element, the stimulus will come from outside, which you have no control. Okay? And it could be by disclosure, it could be by the discovery of things that all of a sudden you find yourself saying the simple thing is this, I got to give this up. That's it. No more. I draw the line on the saying, that's it. And then that's the beginning of a new life. All right. May the Lord bless you, keep you safe. May the Lord shine upon you. May the Lord grant you peace. And may the Lord, of course, guide you and begin to give you the strength in resolving all your resentments, all the agonizing things that have been holding you back, and start letting you basically come up, be bathed in the river of Jordan, and come up, cleanse, and then also wrapped up in a beautiful white garment and a new person, a new human being. Until then, I love you guys. Take care of yourself, and we'll be getting back in touch with you. And please subscribe. Okay? It's very disappointing to do videos that come from the bottom of my heart, the deepest region, to convey to you, and sometimes watching only that 4 people have you, even when I inform everybody, okay, that I can. And I'm sharing this with you, not for wealth or prosperity or famous or anything, because that is what God asked me to do, and I do it. And I still keep remembering what they say. If you can have one person, one soul, to listen to and to adhere what you say and to help them, according to the law of the universe and the law of heaven, is if you can do one, you just save a world. And every one of you are very important to me. So please share this video. Continue monitoring the other videos I've done, the articles. Okay, the days are are numbered. They're coming. No doom and gloom. This is just a storm we're gonna need to go through. And the far ahead that you are prepared, the better you're gonna be with it. The better you're gonna find that out of it, and the better will be your outcome. And when you're gonna realize this, when you start seeing a lot of people running around, like you say in English, like a chicken without a head, looking some answers, and they find out they won't have no answers, but the answer has been there all along. Again, God is great. God is in you. You are his creation. Stop and think. If there's anything you can learn from all the things that I've said, it is this. You are God. You are his essence. The spirit of him is in you. You have to believe that. You have to take that in your hand and bring it to your chest. Because whether you are unique, the whole universe know that, the whole galaxy know that the human being you are is the greatest creation of the great creator, the great source you call God. And it's not me being proud, but remember that honor space, that honor position. You have no idea how many beings will give an arm and whatever they can, even to the point to even destroy us, at the knowledge that we carry what's the greatest thing of the Creator, his individual essence, his unconditional love, and above all things, free will. Peace and love. Until then.